A continental leader in science, diplomacy, and engaged research. To discuss the upcoming 2025 Engaged Research Conference and Science Diplomacy Summer School, we're now joined by Dr. Konosoang Sobane, who's the Chief Research Specialist at the Human Sciences Research Council and Acting Director of the Strategic Partnership and International Unit. Dr. Sobane will share insights on how these initiatives aim to empower young researchers, strengthen research policy links, and also foster international collaboration. Thank you so much indeed for joining us, and welcome to the program, Dr. Sobane.
Thank you so much, Peter. And just to correct one thing, it's acting manager, not acting director.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Perhaps you can start by giving our listeners a fuller picture in terms of what exactly are Engaged Research Conference and Science Diplomacy Summer Schools, and how do they complement one another?
Okay. Just to say that we need to separate the two because there are two different activities that are happening at almost the same time, and yet they are not the same thing. So the Science Diplomacy Summer School is a summer school that is meant to equip emerging researchers, science diplomacy practitioners, diplomats with knowledge on how to effectively use science to solve some of the diplomatic challenges that the country and the region is working towards, or the country and the region are trying to solve. The Engaged Research Conference is a platform for practitioners, researchers, policy makers, and research users that are meant to engage on what are the most feasible ways in which research can be done for the people, but also by the people and with the people as well, and not without them.
I must admit, I'm hearing these terms for the first time. I wonder why science diplomacy and engaged research are such critical priorities, particularly for South Africa right now, both nationally and across the continent.
If you look at most of the challenges that South Africa and Africa in general are grappling with, you look at health issues, food security, unemployment, peace and security. All of them can best be addressed by carefully orchestrated, equitable, and mutually beneficial multilateral and international knowledge to policy collaborations. So they cannot just be solved in a vacuum. And the importance of these science, technology, and innovation collaborations are even more articulated in the Agenda 2063 and the Science, Technology, and Innovation of Africa Strategy 2024, to say that it's important that Africa starts looking at solving problems through science policy collaborations, both at an continental level, but also at an international level. So with that, we then see science diplomacy becoming a new currency if we are serious about transforming society. And then with that context, South Africa, it becomes very important for South Africa to strategically position itself as a strategic player in conversations on science diplomacy.
So what would you say are the core opportunities that this summer school will offer early career researchers and young professionals?
The biggest opportunity here is to be in dialogue with some of the key experts in science diplomacy, and to be in dialogue through some of the people that already have gathered experience and expertise in the technical skills, but also in the soft skills. So the goodness of this summer school is that it provides technical skills, access to expertise, but also access to some of the soft skills that a science diplomat requires, such as the art of negotiation, which you never get taught anywhere as a formal program. So the opportunities here are for meeting and engaging with the technical experts, but also engaging on some of these soft skills and forming collaborations with those that are already in the space.
Are there elements like mentorship, hands-on policy interface, or interdisciplinary exposure?
Yes, there are elements like that. So the summer school is designed in a way that there's going to be the lecture mode where people are taught something, but also the practical application in collaboration with those that are in policy and those that are in diplomacy. So it's going to be running, the program is going to be running concurrently as knowledge acquisition, but also practice oriented, and that provides that opportunity.
So, engaged research is often described as research meeting real world needs. Can you highlight a case study, perhaps, from the past HSRC projects where this approach directly influenced policy or community outcomes, maybe?
I think the closest example is the example of the health crisis that the globe was grappling with very recently, COVID. In that time, there was a number of research initiatives that the HSRC conducted in order to fully understand what are the community-based challenges that people are experiencing when they are about or when they are expected to adhere to some of the restrictions that were there, and to co-create with the communities what would be the best approaches then to deal with all that. So that is the closest example that I can think of. We also have a closer example of addressing food security issues, where it became very apparent with the research that we are doing at HSRC that in order to address issues on food security, it is very essential to not only work on STI innovations that are going to enhance agriculture, but to also work with communities to look at what are some of the indigenous knowledge activities that they have that can enhance agriculture and improve food security.
For our listeners, perhaps interested in attending, when and where will these events take place, and how can they register?
For the Engaged Research Conference, the HSRC has a website. If you go to it has a page on the website. So if you go to the HSRC website, you can actually, and type Engaged Research, you'll find a portal for the conference. There is also a sponsorship for those African colleagues that would like to attend and I imagine researchers but do not have the resources. For the summer school is happening on the 15th to 25 October 2025. 3 days are going to be online. The first 3 days are going to be online. The rest of the days are going to be residential in Johannesburg. We have not yet taken out the advert. The advert will be out soon. So I will encourage people to keep looking at the HSRC website for that advert.
What overarching vision or theme do you hope that your participants will take away from these initiatives? I mean, what kind of research, diplomacy, mindset, or network are you aiming to foster going forward?
Going forward, I think from the two activities, the mindset I would like all the participants to walk away with is that we cannot solve problems in isolation. We need to be engaging across the sectors and across all stakeholders that are relevant to addressing the challenges that we have as a continent.
Are other countries on the continent doing similar things?
Yes, so this convenings are not done in isolation. We are very much cognizant of the current geopolitics. So for the science diplomacy summer school in particular, We are working with some global and regional think tanks, such as the World Academy of Sciences, the Science Diplomacy Capital for Africa, the Academy of Sciences in Africa and in South Africa. So that is us looking at global and regional think tanks. But we are also working with the Department of International Relations and Cooperation, who works directly with diplomatic missions and our international relations in South Africa to make sure that our work is positioned internationally and we have access to other international organizations that are doing the same. We also work with the Department of Science and Technology, also very rich on connections, international connections with or on science and technology. So there is a number of countries, I cannot mention each one of them, but with these three categories that I've just given you, there is a number of countries and a number of global think tanks that we are working with.
Dr. Sobane, we're going to have to leave it there, but thank you so much indeed for joining us and educating us on these very important initiatives, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Peter.
Thank you.